Superheroes and video games have become huge in the past decade. So, what happens when you mix the two together? Well, your result will be Ace Lightning. Broadcasting on the 4th of September 2002 and last until 18th of May 2005. Okay, look, because I'm too lazy to write out an original synopsis for it, I'm just going to describe what Wikipedia says about it. Hey, at least I'm admitting it. The series follows the life of British teenager Mark Hollander, who recently moved to America with his parents. On one stormy night, because as you do, Mark plays his favourite video game, the fictional Ace Lightning and the Carnival of Doom, a superhero-based adventure game where hero Ace Lightning traversed the Carnival of Doom to find the pieces of the magical Amulet of Zor, whilst battling his nemesis, Lord Fear. Mark stumbles across a mysterious 7th level, which is not meant to exist. A lightning bolt strikes the antenna on his roof, and through an electrical surge, the characters of the game come to life. Hayes immediately hires the confused Mark as his psychic to fulfill the game's objectives in the real world. Mark's life is turned upside down, and his duty as a lightning knight affects his school grades and social life, often forcing him to make excuses to his family and friends. Meanwhile, Lord Fear's group of villains occupy the town's rundown carnival. The series was significant in that until its creation, live-action CGI had not been attempted to such a huge and constant degree within a weekly television serial. It may look cheap now, but this was the early 2000s, and kids shows at the time were either all live-action or fully CGI. Hardly ever a mixture of both in this scale before. Most episodes balanced Mark's social issues and dealing with the game characters, and the animated characters fighting over the collected amulet pieces. The world and rules of the game played out in the local town. For example, when two pieces of the amulet were connected, a new character or weapon would be summoned. And that's pretty much the story. The first season had 26 25-minute long episodes. All each had a similar format, with Lord Fear hatching a plan to steal an amulet piece or trying to destroy Ace and Mark. They stop him, and an important moral is learnt at the end. The show itself was aimed towards a 5 to 10-year-old demographic, so the writing for the show wasn't the best.
I have a bet with my friend. Have you ever met the Queen?
No. But I met Prince William.
Really? You win.
Most of the dialogue was cheesy, and the acting could be over the top at times. But there is enjoyment to be found. Just think more Power Rangers and less Watchmen. But that doesn't mean the show didn't take itself seriously at times. It was also a half-teen sitcom with the teenage characters dealing with the typical teen problems, schoolwork, relationship issues, that type of stuff. But the storylines featuring the video game characters were always the highlight. For characters, we had the previously mentioned Mark, who was based on Spider-Man's true identity, Peter Parker, an ordinary everyman who tries to balance his social life with his superhero duties. Of course, during the series, he does try to get his life back to normal, but eventually proves himself to be a hero from time to time. We also had Ace Lightning himself, an electric-based superhero who was a member of the Lightning Knights, a group of superhumans who swore an oath to protect the Amulet of Zor. When he starts the series, he's wisecracking, brave, and always has a motivational speech ready.
I'll tell you something, kid. There are all kinds of heroes out there. I mean, look at you. You went somewhere today you'd never been before. Met all kinds of strangers. Now that took real courage.
But as Mark starts to adopt more heroic qualities, Ace starts to gain more human-like emotions, which does start conflicts later on in the series. For the villains, we had Lord Fear, an undead sorcerer whose level of villainy depends on the episode. Sometimes he's a Saturday morning bad guy, while other times he does come across as a bit of an actual threat. He also has a talking staffer henchman because, why not? Lady Illusion, a shape-shifting witch who starts off as Lord Fear's mistress until she starts developing romantic feelings for Ace and slowly starts to question her loyalties. Mark's best friend Chuck, the show's comic relief, who can provide a few laughs from time to time. Sparks, another Lightning Knight who becomes Ace's other sidekick. Random Virus, a cyborg who switches between hero and villain. Samantha and Kat, Mark's girlfriends during the series. Kilobyte, an octopus-styled villain who also plots to take over the world. Googler, a jester-themed villain. Anvil and Pigface, a mutant pig and rhino henchman. Yeah, as you can tell, a lot of these characters sound very similar. The first season ended with Mark winning the game, with all the villains, save Lady Illusion, returning to the game world. In the second season, Chuck becomes Ace's secondary sidekick, and all of the villains return under the leadership of a new villain, Kilobyte. Unlike the first series, Series 2 only had 13 episodes, ending with Lord Fear and Ace teaming up to defeat Kilobyte. Fear, of course, betrays Ace and kills him, but it turns out it was actually Lady Illusion, and she dies in Ace's arms. Sorry, I should have said spoilers. Yeah, it was pretty morbid, but there was a third season planned, which sadly never happened, because unfortunately, the show was cancelled due to low viewing figures and complaints that it wasn't educational enough. Yeah, I don't get that either. So, is there any way of watching it now? Yes and no. There was a DVD release showing the first 7 episodes, and that's it. No complete box set. But luckily, the whole series is on YouTube. So, do I think Ace Lightning still holds up today? Personally, I think the concept has more potential to it. If it had more serious writers, a big budget, mature themes, and with devices like VR becoming more accessible, the idea of video game characters coming to life is more appealing than ever before. And who knows, maybe someday Ace Lightning could zap his way onto our screens once again. Also, the theme song is amazing.